We're at Altitude Champagne Garden, which is one of the nicer places in Pretoria these days, and it's at the Times Square Hotel and Casino, which is opposite Menlyn Main. Myself and PJ are about to meet one of the legends of South African sport, Strydom.
And not only is he one of the winners of the '95 World Cup, he's also a business owner and the owner of Pharma Value Pharmaceutical Group. So let's hear his journey from rugby player to pharmacist to business owner.
Let's go meet him. Hannes, thank you very much for joining myself and PJ on the Catalyst. We're honored to have you here. And I know you're a busy man, but thank you
very
for
much
being here.
For the invite. It's nice to be here, and it's a privilege to be here talking to you guys.
Definitely. Thank you very much. And I think let's start with the drink. When I asked you what do you drink, and you immediately said the chocolate block, which is a blend and it's predominantly Syrah. But is there a specific reason why the chocolate block?
I think it's just a combination that triggers me. You know, you get the Syrahs and you get the Merlots and all those. I just think that the chocolate block is a nice mixture of them all. Okay. So it suits actually every taste and every tongue.
So you prefer a blend?
I prefer a blend at this stage.
Definitely. But
cheers.
Let's enjoy it.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be here with you guys. Cheers.
Yes, I think before we begin on the business side, we have to go back to 1995 and just ask you, I mean, it was such a big moment in South African history, not only in our sport, just South Africa as a whole. What was your most memorable moment, or what did you really take out of that whole experience that was the World Cup?
It's interesting. We had a weekend this weekend. This weekend just gone past. The 24th was the 22nd year celebration. Can you believe it already?
22 years. Yeah.
And Francois Pienaar made the commitment every year on the same date we'll get together as a team for the rest until we're still alive. And this year we just went through everything, and we stood in a meeting, sitting around a glass of wine, talking, each guy taking his experience out of the World Cup. And I think the main thing is, what I got out of it is, if we had realized the impact and the greatness of playing a World Cup and winning it in your own country, we wouldn't have been able to play in the World Cup.
So you didn't know it was going to be this big?
We didn't realize it's going to be this
today,
22 years afterwards, you know, people still go crazy about it. And if we had realized the impact it would have had on the country, I think the moment would have been too big for us.
Too big for you guys.
And that was the main thing that we got out of it. And you get goosebumps if you think of it. And that we took it on as just a normal game. We were the fittest side. We were the most prepared and best prepared side in the World Cup. And we just knew that we've got to win this game, whether it's home territory or not. We planned it as a normal game, and it was just on home territory. Yes. And I mean, the enormity of the greatness of it only filters through now. I mean, we're starting to realize that the impact is still in the country at this stage. So what I took out of the World Cup is the fact that if a team stands together, if you work towards the same goal, and if you've got God on your side, I mean, afterwards, we didn't decide if we're going to win the World Cup, we're going to pray afterwards. Everyone can remember after the World Cup whistle blew, the end whistle blew, we all got together and we prayed together.
Yeah, I think that was the moment for me when Francois Pienaar, he started and
because
everyone
went together. It was a natural thing. It wasn't a made-up story. It wasn't a thing that we said, okay, we're going to do this if we win, we're going to do that if we win. It was all a natural type of feeling, and that was nice. And also the game went on longer than what it was used to. But we were the fittest side, so we were prepared for that. Yeah. And that was nice about it. Standing together as a team, and also being able to bring a country together. I think that was the main thing for me that I took out of it.
Yeah. What would you say to a young person that wants to pursue a career in sports, because it's very different sports codes, you can be professional these days. What would you just advise be to someone that's looking to pursue a career in sports?
I would say the first thing is get some education behind your name. And that's the main thing. Your rugby career is short. And the guys don't realize, I mean, you can play today, you can play for the Springboks today, tomorrow you're gone. You've got an injury, you can never play
Especially
again.
Rugby being
Especially
a contact
rugby.
sport.
So your contact is so high and the intensity is so high that you cannot say, I get the creeps if a guy says to me, what are you going to study next year? He says, I'm going to study rugby. I'm going to go to the rugby academy. Yeah. It's crazy. You know, those parents and the rugby union should get shot for that, because that's not the way. And once you've finished after 2 years, some unions contract guys 18, 19, 20 years old for 3 years. They don't make team and they cancel their contracts. And what do they sit there? 22 years old, no rugby career left, no academic any background behind them, and those guys are the guys that's going to struggle in life. So get something behind your name. Whether it's a BCom degree, go and do it through UNISA, not at one of these colleges.
So have a backup plan.
Have
That's
a backup
basically
plan.
like a plan B that you...
You've got to have a plan B, because with rugby you never know. I played until I was the age of 37. I was lucky. So, but some guys can't play with an international rugby and the standard of play and the intensity of play. You cannot play till you're 37 anymore. There's just no way. I mean, 30 years, 31 years, 32 years. For the forwards, it's sometimes 28 years old. Then you finish with your career.
And that's lucky if you make it.
If you make it up to there. If you haven't got an injury before then already. You know.
And so how big was that transition then from professional sportsman, pinnacle of a career, won the 95 World Cup, and now to be just a pharmacist and starting from the bottom up? Was it a big transition?
It's a big transition. It's the main thing, and that's why you'll see a lot of sports people after their sports career, you actually go into a type of a depression, type of a lag, because you were something and now you're nothing. And that's the main. It's an important step that people have got to take, and people's got to realize that there's a life after sport as well. Some people carry on coaching, but it's 1 or 2 or 5%. If I look at our 95 World Cup squad, I think it's Naka and Brendan Venter, and Bali was a bit in coaching, but actually the guys don't. There's not a career in coaching. You know, there's not much after rugby, which is sad. But it's life, and you've got to take it that way. So you've actually, it is a, and that's why you've got to keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah.
And then the whole situation doesn't make you a better person. It's got actually all the facets in it to make you arrogant, to make you full of yourself, to make all the elements. You know, the money is there, the fame is there, all
And
those
at
things.
a young age. I think it's such a young age. So you were a pharmacist. When did you start your own business? Pharma Value. Was that the first pharmacy you opened? How did that transition happen from pharmacist to business owner?
I actually came into pharmacy by default. I actually was working for a pharmaceutical company at a stage. At a stage in my early rugby career, I was a pharmaceutical rep, repping products for pharmaceutical companies. My record is, a day would typically be getting up 3 o'clock in the morning, driving to Nelspruit, 7 o'clock my first doctor's appointment, see 10 doctors, 8 o'clock my next 10 doctors, 10 o'clock my next doctor, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock I've seen 50 doctors a day. Get into my car, chase through to Joburg and be on the training field at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And that was my life. So it was just a continuation. And then I got into a friend of mine that wanted to expand his pharmacy. It was fine, but I want to play rugby. I don't want to be in a pharmacy. I enjoy my rugby. And then, as it might be, then he phoned me and told me, Hannes, I need a locum for today. I can't work today, or I'm sick, or my locum cancelled. Okay, and then I go into the pharmacy and go and work. And that's how I came into pharmacy, investing in a pharmacy. And then eventually, the work just became more. And I had to resign from the pharmaceutical company that I worked for and full-time in retail.
And then bought the pharmacy, or you started your own pharmacy?
I bought him out eventually. And then from there on, I started the Pharma Value Group in Pretoria.
Yeah, happened naturally, and now you don't have one pharmacy, you've got 7 pharmacies, and I know there's a few in the pipeline as well. So would you say it was your plan to scale the business, or is all this growth just happened organically?
I think if you enjoy what you're doing, it makes it easier. And if you believe in yourself, I think that's one of the main things. My life is rushed and I love it because I don't want it anywhere else. But you've got to believe in yourself, you've got to believe in your abilities and get stronger people around you. I mean, and that's one of the most difficult things. I think people make a mistake. I appoint people that are stronger than what I am. I want them to be better than what I am. That's how I'm going to grow my business. I don't want a pharmacist that's weaker than me. If I stand in the pharmacy and a guy comes and he only wants to speak to me and not to my pharmacist, I know they're doing something wrong. They mustn't come and speak to me because I'm not a good pharmacist. I'm a businessman at this stage. So I say to my pharmacist, the guys they must say, hi, Hannes, how are you doing? How's the rugby going? No, how's the family going? And then they must go to the pharmacist. They must actually, I don't want you to help me, I want the pharmacist to help. Then I know they're doing their job. I want the best HR person, I want the best financial guy, I want the best floor person selling, I want the best driver delivering the parcels. You know, all those type of things are things that I say employ better people. My staff knows and my managers know I only employ a cashier that's brilliant. If the cashier is good, they'll be able to grow into the business. And they must have the potential to be a manager. I've had cashiers, I've had cleaners that I've developed into pharmacy assistants. I've had assistants that I've got them to go and study pharmacy, became pharmacists, you know. So that's growing people, and that's what I believe in. Employ stronger people than what you are, and it's a difficult mindset for people to grasp. But once you grasp it, I love it when I see my staff do better than what I can do, because I learn from them, and I see what they're doing, and they learn from me.
You have to put your ego aside. And I think maybe that's where rugby or team sports maybe helped you in that regard as well.
Yeah. As a team, you function individually, but as a team together as well.
And what's your vision for farmer value? Like, is it just going to grow organically?
I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. My mission is to have at least 20 branches, but you never know where it leads to. You know, I've become part of a bigger group now as well. And let's see what the future entails. I'll just say, whatever facet in your life you're in, be the best you can and do the best that you can do and enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, why do it? You know, and that's the main thing.
So you believe in growing organically, and where you are at the moment, just do your best, and then wherever it goes,
and believe in yourself. Yeah, and also, you know, you make a decision today. In 10 years' time, that small decision can make a major impact in your business. So you make decisions every day. I've just appointed an HR manager now, for instance, my business, and he sits and he says, Honest, how can you make a decision so quickly? I said, I've got to make 20 decisions every day. And one decision can influence the whole pattern of your business, but you've got to make a call. And that's what I say to my staff as well. If I'm not there, if you can't get hold of me, make a call. Don't do nothing. You've got an unhappy client. You don't leave that client for tomorrow. Tomorrow the problem is bigger. They're more furious. The next day it's bigger. And that day the client is unhappy. Phone the client, apologize to them, send them a bunch of flowers, a box of chocolates or a bottle of chocolate blog or whatever, and get them calmed down and get them pacified. But do something. Don't just do nothing, because tomorrow the problem is bigger.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Be proactive, yes. And I say to them, take 5 reasons why you're taking that decision, what you're making. And think 5 reasons. And if I come to you and I question what you've been doing, at least you'll be able to give me 5 reasons. I know you've applied your mind. So I won't be able to argue, because you've gone through your decision making. Or maybe 2 of the points are valid, and that's fair enough to make a decision on. And if it was the wrong decision, tomorrow we make it right. But 90% of the time they get it right. Because I say to them, they must handle the business as if it's their own. And if every staff member handles it if it's their own business, it can only go well. I mean,
and I think we're going to do the quick fire minute now.
Yeah, so we call it a couple of short questions. Just keep the answers short. The first thing that comes to mind.
Can I take a glass of wine for some wine?
Yeah, sip from wine. If the answer's too long, it's going to be a yellow card for you.
And we go to the sin bin and all drinks
the drinks are on you. So just the first thing that comes to mind when you ask the question. So what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had 6 eggs with bacon.
Okay, nice protein-packed diet.
Just 6 egg whites and 2 yellows and some bacon.
So you still eat very strict?
Still eat very, I love eating right. That's part of discipline.
You should eat.
Yeah, I should eat.
Who's the toughest rugby player you played against?
I'd say John Eels, because he was skilled.
Okay.
Lock.
But he was also a tough
physical,
guy as well.
Physical guy, but a mentally clever player. I'd say John Eels and Zinzanbroek. You know, all those type of guys.
Again,
there's a couple of them, but I'd say Johnny was the most skilled and hardest player.
Do you have other favorite
Sean
sport
Fitzpatrick
outside?
was also very bad.
Did he bite you? Oh no,
no, he didn't. He tried.
Favorite sport outside of rugby? Is there a sport you like watching?
No, not really.
Not really.
I love sport, but I don't focus on a specific sport. And I'll watch whatever. I'll watch golf. I'll watch the Comrades being run. Anything that's
the active,
anything that's
skateboarding.
I'll do it. If they do it, I'll watch it. But you know, you've got to be good and it's got to be skilled. I love seeing things that people dedicate
and some passion doing something very good. You know the hard work.
I'll get some energy out of that as well. So there's no specific sport.
What's your shoe size?
13.
What's your drink of choice, except for chocolate block? What do you like having to wind down?
You know, I'll take a glass of wine. I'll take a beer. And you know what is my favorite drink to drink, cool drink to drink, is Oros cool drink. Funny enough, just mix it. I've got a can of Oros cool drink in the fridge being cold, and when I feel like a cool drink, I'll go and drink Oros cool drinks.
Okay.
I probably inherited it from my kids.
It works sometimes.
Works upside down, the wrong way around.
As a pharmacist, what's your best cure for hangover?
the best thing is you take you take some essentials or cruciale before you go and party, and before you go and sleep that night, whether it's 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, you drink 2 Myprodols and you drink another 4 essentials of cruciale. It's no bubble.
Selling his product.
Yeah, and you get everything. at Pharma.
Everything at Pharma value.
So make sure
It's
you put the
special.
paint them before you go and sleep. Don't drink it when you wake up. It's too late. You need to drink it before you go to sleep. That's the
Speaking
best
of
remedy.
waking up, what time do you wake up in the mornings normally?
I usually, except if I go and train early, I stand up at 4:30. But I usually get up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I can't wait for 6 o'clock. Sometimes I watch the watch. Is it 6 o'clock or not?
So you're an early, you like getting
Yeah,
up early in the
normal early.
mornings?
Yeah, it's early start. I can't sleep till 9 o'clock. I can't sleep till 10 o'clock or whatever. Unless I go to bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, I'll maybe sleep till 10
Then
o'clock.
it's fine.
That's fine.
At what age do you want to retire?
I don't want to retire ever. No.
Oh,
There's
that's-
nothing like it. My wife also says it. She wants to move down to the Cape or whatever. I said, I'll die. I'll have to buy 10 pharmacies in Cape Town.
Pharmacies in Cape Town. Oh,
to
that's-
keep me busy. But I think I'll never retire. I love work and I love what I'm doing and I enjoy what I'm doing. And that's why I won't stop. I'll probably wind down. Fortunately, my son is studying pharmacy as well. And my youngest daughter, Lucy, also wants to go and do pharmacy. So hopefully there's a succession plan where I can start giving over to them and maybe work 2 or 3 days a week or something like that. But I don't think I'll ever stop working. I love it too much. It's a passion.
That's
I'm a
great, yeah.
workaholic.
Even if you just go to work and read the paper there.
That's it. Just be there.
The kids do the work.
Let them do the work. I'll watch it.
Or
Everything
maybe
else.
sell samples again.
That's it. For the old people.
What's your favorite car brand? The make of car.
You know, people think I'm crazy, but Toyota.
Okay.
Can
so
you
that's
believe
a-
it? I've had various variety, and my answer is probably too long, but Toyota is the best resale value of any car. It's just, I've gone through them all. But I love sports
So
cars.
that's
and I
the
love
business
fast cars.
person in you coming out there, seeing the resale value.
That's what means it to me, you know, and that's the main. But I love sports cars as well. So, but it's a bad investment. The car is probably your worst
no,
investment we'll ever do. But we as men can't do without a car. We need a car.
Yeah.
And if not a pharmacist, what career then? You said medical or no?
I think a doctor. I would have made maybe not a good doctor, but I would have enjoyed what I'm doing. But I think a career like that would have limited me. Whether as a doctor, as a dentist, you can only do the amount that you can do with your own hands that day. Where pharmacy gave me the opportunity to expand. I mean, I've got about 250 staff members in my group. So I can have 250 harnesses working with the clients. So it just extends my hands. Where pharmacy gave me that opportunity. Whereas another career like being a doctor would have been a fantastic career for me. But I wouldn't have been able to see my 50 patients a day. And that would have been,
There's no real way to scale.
it would have been the ceiling. And I don't like ceilings. I like to break through the ceilings.
Great. So what is the compliment most people give you that you hear most often about you? What do you think is your strong points? Let me ask you that way. What do you think is your strong points?
I don't think I've got strong points. Really, I just enjoy what I'm doing.
So passion is probably.
Maybe passion.
Maybe your
maybe
I
passion.
think
and-
the energy and your passion you have
and
for your
also
work.
keeping my feet on the ground. I think that's one of the main things that I've learned out of my sport career. It can get taken away from you tomorrow, and be thankful for what we've got, and praise God for all we've got. Everything I've got comes from God. It's not me. It's not me being good. It's not. God gave me the opportunity. He gave me the mind. He gave me the spirit. He gave me the enthusiasm, and that's what it's all about. That's what I took out of it at this stage.
Great. Now, I think, and just to end off, you mentioned you've got a son or children, and what advice would you give to your younger self, or to your children, or to us, just about life in general? What was the advice you would give to someone in our situation?
One of the first things, and you've got to go through life to realize it, is teach your children from an early age what is right, what is wrong, what you expect, what's the norm, what you believe in. You can't teach a child, and I saw it with my son going to varsity now when he was 18 years old. I asked him before he left for Porsche, I said, "Honest, must I be worried about you?" And he said, "No, Daddy." And I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because you taught me from an early age what is right, what is wrong, what is the best thing in life to do, how to make decisions. You can't do it when the child is 18 years old. Start teaching your child when they're 2 months old. You can tell a child what is right, what is wrong."